There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men and bare them children. Let's go before the flood. What was before the flood? Leo. Started right here in his back, like a chain about his neck. Al-Giba. The word giants in the Old Testament, speaking of there were giants in the earth in those days, that word is Gebar. G-E-B-A-R. Al means the Geba. That's the house of the Ge. Alright? Let's go after the flood. When it's written, Rigel, Al-Gibar, Freemasonry. Who rules fire here? The sun does. Who else ruled fire before that? Jupiter. This is who God is. He's the God of the gods, not creator. So they're the offspring of the Jupiterians that made themselves kings in the age of Leo, when they breeded with the daughters of men. They had the wisdom of the heavens. They kept changing this. These are the illuminated ones. Jupiter. They breeded with Virgo. They used Libra, the wisdom of the heavens. They breeded with Virgo, and they made themselves kings. The flood came. They did it again. Rigel, Al-Giber, the giants. String of pearls, the giant foot. Rigel, the giant. Al-Giber, Al-Giber, the Gebar. Hello, the giant Gebar. There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, it's the mystery schools of Jupiter. In Arabic, Jupiter is called Mustari. He's the mystery school. The mystery. Jupiter. Let's go show you these giants, how big they were in the Old Testament. So, Moses sends them in to the land to check it out. Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, "We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it." But the men who had gone up with him, "We can't attack those people, they're stronger than we are." And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they explored. They lied. The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there were of a great size. See that little number there? It means cluster. Eshkol means a cluster. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. This is the bad report. Let's see what happened when they actually went in and what the people were. That was in Numbers 13, Joshua chapter 9. And it came to pass when the kings, they set them up as kings, which were on the side of Jordan, in the hills, in the valleys, in the coast, in the great sea, over against Lebanon. They're Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Pezerites, Hivites, and the Jebusites. That they gathered themselves together to fight against Joshua and Israel with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gideon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and unto Ai, they did work wilily. And they went and made as if they had been ambassadors. And they took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up, and old shoes and clothes clouded on their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. They took off their king's robes, and they dressed as peasants. And they went to Joshua unto the camp of Gilgal, and said unto him, and to the men of Israel, We be from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league with us. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, Peradventure ye dwell among us, how will we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, We are thy servants. And Joshua said, Who are ye? And whence come ye? And they said unto him, From a very far country thy servants are come, because of the name of the Lord thy God. We have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Egypt. They tingled their ears, they lied. And all that he did to the 2 kings of Amorites were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, to Og king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth. He heard what they did before they came into the land. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, Take victuals with you for your journey, and go meet them, and say unto them, We are your servants. Therefore now make a league with us. This is our bread we took hot for our provisions out of our house on this day we came forth to go unto you. But now, behold, it is dry, and it is moldy. They played like they came from a far place. They were right from there. And these bottles of wine which were filled were new, and behold, they be rent. And these our garments and our shoes are become old by the reason of the very long journey. Hell, they circled around behind them. They saw them coming into the city. They left out the back door, changed into their junk clothes, met up with Joshua, and cut a deal. The men took their victuals and asked not counsel at the mouth of the Lord. They just did it. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation sweared unto them. And it came to the pass at the end of 3 days after they had made a league with them. Now, if they were frickin' giants, would changing their clothes change their appearance? And it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were neighbors, and that they had dwelt among them. And the children of Israel journeyed, and came into their cities on the 3rd day. And now the cities were Gibeon, Kephirah, and Beeroth, and Kirjath-jearim. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the prince of the congregation had sworn of them by the God of Israel, and all the congregation murmured against the princes. But all the princes said unto the congregation, We have sworn unto them by the Lord our God of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. How come they didn't recognize them? Weren't they giants? The other guys lied. Caleb was the only one that told the truth. Yeah, we can go in and take them. They were Geber. They were masons. This will we do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath we swear unto them. It gets worse. They end up working in the temple. Let's continue. And Joshua called for them and spake unto them, saying, Wherefore have ye beguiled us? There's that word, beguiled. This is what was done to Eve. She was lied to. We are from far from you, when you dwelled among us. How could they dwell among them and not be recognized? Now therefore ye are cursed, and ye shall none of you be freed from being bondmen, and hewers of wood, and drawers of water for the house of my God. So they're slaves. They were Freemasons that were thrown into slavery. Kings. They made themselves kings. And they answered Joshua and said, Because it is certainly told thy servants how that the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land. I need to pause. Sorry, I got choked. And they answered Joshua and said, Because it was certainly told thy servants how the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were so afraid of our lives because of you, and have done this thing. And now, behold, we are in thy hand, and as it seemeth good and right unto thee to do unto us, do. So he did unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, and they slew them not. And Joshua made them that day hewers of wood, drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of the Lord. This was the first when they came into the priesthood. They're in the house of the altar of God. They work for the Levites. This was the first time the Levite tribe was corrupted. And indeed it was, because them were some lazy bastards. They've got the Kenites here who are doing all the work. They're getting the water and the wood for the congregation. When they go into Babylon, they won't even be scribes anymore. When they come out of Babylon, everyone among them were Babylonian. There wasn't a Levi among them. They were lazy. They put the work off on other people who corrupted it. And there's your giants.